Everyone, and welcome to another video. So I am swamped and super busy tonight, so I'm walking and filming at the same time because I've got another video to film. I've got like 3 or 4 to edit for this week, and I've still got to promote my Kickstarter. It's in the final days, so by the time you guys are watching this, it's probably over. But so today I'm going to be reviewing I think episode 4 of Blood of My Blood, I think. Yeah, so let's get right into this. If you hear noises, it's the neighbors. Okay, so this one I had a feeling was going to focus more on Claire's parents again, and I was kind of sad because the last episode, if it's going back and forth like it has been, the last episode was supposed to focus a little bit more and shift back to Brian and Ellen, and it shifted a lot to Ellen and the clan drama, but nothing between her and Brian. So there was nothing in their romance, and so I was really concerned that Brian and Ellen, aka Jamie's parents, were not going to have a good spotlight. So we basically kind of jumped to Claire's mom, Julia, I think her name is, stuck inside the castle, and the laird at the time was gone. In the end of the last episode, she basically decided to how should I put this delicately? She basically decided to get with him in order to act like the child that she has is his, even though it's actually her husband's. But she was told that if he finds out that she's pregnant, he will have the child killed. So she's been writing these letters to her husband, even though she's not sending them off, because they used to write letters. They're like, that was a bug that hit me. That was terrifying. They were pen pals, and their relationship has been so strong because of that. And so she keeps writing him letters, just not sending them out. And so she apologized, like, I'm sorry, my love, but I'm doing what I have to save our child, kind of thing. And it was really touching and sad and bittersweet, but also she's doing what she has to for her kid. So this episode kind of picks up where he's left, but he's on his way back. She wants to get out, so she ends up taking some plants and rubbing it on her to get a rash, and he uses that as an excuse when he gets back to hey, I need to go to X place to get a remedy for this rash, and he agrees, but he's gonna send one of his goons with her. And Brian, being Brian and being Jamie's dad and so handsome and sweet and kind, agrees to go with her instead. So they travel together. So in this way, this particular episode did kind of actually give us a lot more with Brian. But the thing is, it's building this friendship between Brian and Julia, Claire's mom, and Jamie's dad, which is weird. But it's they kind of talk and get to know each other a little bit, and he kind of picks up on the fact that she's faking, but he's willing to help her anyway. And it's kind of at this point, she knows more about him than Ellen does, and yet for some reason Ellen and Brian are madly in love with each other, and they're trying to do a love at first sight, forbidden romance, and so they're trying to do a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, but it comes off as really cheesy and not strong because they're doing such a good emotional connection between Claire's parents and their romance, and so it's very odd. But we also go to Claire's dad, Henry. He's working for the grants. So the grant leader wants him to go collect taxes from the people, and he wants an increase. And so, but Henry's a good guy, and some of the people can't afford it. So he's clashing with Mr. Bug. Weird name, but he is an older character that Jamie and Claire in that show. I think he betrayed them somehow. So this is Mr. Bug's younger years, but he's still a sleazebag. So I like that because it's true to his character. So he clashes with Henry a lot, and Henry has some flashbacks to back when him and Claire were together, married or whatever, and they were having a kid, and they came up with baby names for Claire. At the time, they were hoping it was a boy, so they were Peter, and it was really cute. They get all the cute moments, and he has a PTSD attack, and Claire's mom, Julia, is there for him and gets him through these attacks, and he feels like he's not a good husband, because remember, this is also just after that is my speech impediment coming through when I was a kid. W's and R's, I can't say them sometimes. this is back after World War One. So this is like 1919 or 18. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what year the war ended, but essentially it's that time period. So PTSD wasn't really a known thing. They called it shell shock back then, and it was like different for a man to have that. Like today we're a little bit more understanding about that kind of stuff, and so he felt horrible. And so one thing I did like, not only Claire's parents, they are like the OTP of the show, and they are so good. Their couple is so strong. They have this emotional connection. They were pen pals first. She's helping him through his PTSD. They have this family together. I'm about to drop my other phone, so I'm holding one for my walking and filming with this one. But anyway, so they have such a strong like relationship and romance, and it really like sets them apart. But the bad thing is it shines a light on how like Brian and Ellen's relationship are not written well, because it's like, I had one conversation in a barn with you, and then we went to a bridge and we talked and we love each other and we're forbidden and I want to be with you. It's just so stupid. But their relationship is so good, and it's actually real, and it's grounded in reality, and especially this heavy reality of like what PTSD is really like, especially for the guys who went through World War One and how many lives were lost. It shows his, not just like the flashbacks and the fear and the anger and the fear and the nightmares, and how he doesn't know reality from the nightmares, but also the anger. And I never thought about how some people might have been a little upset with how things were handled because of the lives lost, even if it's like not correct thinking or irrational, because like, I mean, we won the war, we stopped the bad guys, but the lives that were lost and the suffering would have created a lot of anger and upset emotions about it, whether they're rational or not. Emotions sometimes aren't, and it's like it brought out this really realistic thing. And that's what I love about the Outlander show, and now this prequel, is how realistic it is. They handle the history so good, and so far the romances have been good, I feel like. So that's why I don't understand why Brian and Ellen so far is really lacking and really cheesy. And I don't know if it was their choice to like do a more of a love at first sight kind of romance, and it just doesn't work, and it was just a bad choice, or like what. So I am out of shape, so I'm sorry that I'm breathing heavy as I walk. So I apologize. I'm also getting tired. I know, 7 minutes of walking and I'm wiped out. I'm so out of shape. Anyways, so yeah, so he flashed back to that because when he started doing the taxes, some of the people weren't happy and he got into a fist fight. And so in the fist fight, it was like he started punching the guy, and he saw it as like a Nazi. So he went into this PTSD attack, but he's also back in time, and he doesn't have Claire's mom there to help him out. So it was like this horrible thing, and you feel for the guy, and he's really desperately trying to find her. And then he also flashes back to that anger conversation that he had, like ranting about the government, the situation of the war, and this lottery thing. So the flashback had relevance to what was going on, because with the increase in taxes, he decides to do this lottery thing so that people are willingly paying in order to get years free from rent, and he's able to earn double what the grant guy ordered him to. And I was going to go a different direction, but I changed my mind. So he's able to order to get double, but the grant guy is like, you still defied my orders. I'll let it slide this time. But essentially he threatened him. So he's in a really precarious situation. And he has this deal with this owner of this brothel house or whatever. And she's been looking for women. And she finds this woman, but it's not Julia, obviously. And so the original scene was kind of unnecessary because it had some nudity, so we had to skip over that, which was not necessary. But the last one was like showing that he's missing Claire so much and he needs her, and he's like still dealing with these flashbacks. So he just wants to lay down and have the woman lay with him, like lay in the bed beside him, like fully clothed or whatever. So it's like he needs that extra comfort, because if you think about it, he is surrounded by guys who will kill him at a moment's notice, and he's playing the part of this Englishman back in a time that's like 200 years before his own. So it's like, and he's also dealing with PTSD and missing his wife. So like laying down just in somebody's presence, just that's not trying to kill him, just like it was kind of like realistic in that. So in the meantime, while all that's going on, Brian is taking Julia to go to this place to supposedly fix her rash, but he kind of figures out that she was faking it, and he understands because he's protected her from his dad before. And again, they're developing this really good friendship that's still better than his friendship with Ellen at this point. But he wants her help, Julia's help, to send a message to Ellen. So he sends her into Castle Leoch and poses as a maid, and he tells her to report into Miss Fitzgibbons because Miss Fitzgibbons is Murthog, his best friend's aunt. So he knows that she'll take care of her and that Ellen and the baby won't be hurt. So she sneaks in, she gets the message. I liked the sneaking in, and so what I liked is what they're trying to do is a like forbidden romance where they have to actually sneak around and send messages through servants, and like what a forbidden romance would actually be like if you had to like you know, send messages through servants and all that stuff. So I liked that. And she sends a message to Ellen, but the speech was a little awkward because I'm gonna have to take a rest over here. I am so out of shape. Whew, okay. So it was like the situation where she was talking about how she understands what being separated from her true love is like. She obviously tells her the message from Brian and that he wants to meet her. And Ellen's like, he's here. If he's seen, my brothers will kill him. So they're watching me. I can't there's no way I could go see him. And she's like, basically, I understand what it's like to be separated from your love. I'm separated from my husband. So, you know, you love Brian, so you should go meet him. She's like, I can sense that same longing in you. And it's like, hold on a minute. You're telling me that your marriage with Henry, that you have spent months writing, years actually, during the entire war, while you were years pen pals writing to each other about your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your likes, your dislikes, your frustrations with the world, how you got together, you got married, you've been helping him with this PTSD, you've been forming this life together, this marriage over years together. You're telling me that that is the same thing as Ellen having one conversation in a barn with Brian and then having one conversation at a bridge when they were just looking at each other like, I love you. It's not the same thing. Like, she is not in love with her. I think it would have worked better if the writers had chosen to have Julia be like, I can see that you're like, that you have this longing for him and that you want more than this life or something like that, and like kind of approaching it with the idea of like, you don't want to miss this chance at love, as opposed to he is your true love and you should go to him. So they sneak out, they meet with Brian. Ellen and Brian finally have the third conversation they've had together. And this one actually worked better. They were talking about how, I can't even remember what the conversation was. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I love you. It wasn't like the cheesy, like it was like practical, like they're wanting me to get married. I'm going to have to meet. She mentions that she wants to meet him at this one festival thing that she's going to, which she's going to that with her fiance, not Brian. And she asked him about like, you're risking your life to ask me that. He's like, I wanted to look to you in your eyes and see if you really do want to marry the Grant guy or if you still want to be with me. And she's like, what do my eyes say? And she's like, what about you? Do you still have feelings for me? And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, meet me at the festival. And then somebody approaches, so he and Julia have to sneak off, and she has a conversation with Dougal, who wants her to go inside, and Dougal's really like almost toxic and abusive with her. Not really physically abusive, but just like getting your room and putting her in her place and keeping her in her room and not letting her go out. So it's like the way her brothers are treating her really bad. There was a conversation she had with a column earlier too that was like, and then right after that walked into the hallway, had a conversation with Dougal. It's like the way that they're like using her for their own gain, and like Column's doing it for the sake of the clan, but it's still like, I love the way that she handles dealing with them and that they're showing that and portraying that. So I told my sister, I was like, it feels like the Ellen that she is when she's dealing with her brothers, and the clan drama is like this strong female lead written in a correct way where she's just being used by the men in her life who want her to marry, who's not thinking about herself or her own happiness, and she loved her father, she does want what's best for her clan, and at the same time she still wants her freedom. But then on the other side, she's with Brian, and she's like this love-struck teenager who like looked at Brian and decided to love him, even though she, like in the first episode, she's like, I don't want to marry, and then she saw Brian and she's like, I want you, and it's like so weird. And so it's like not consistent with her character, because it's like those two sides to her. Let me know if you guys agree with this, like if the Brian and Ellen stuff is weirding out anybody else. Not weirding out because it's not weird, but just not written as well as the rest of the show. And I don't understand that, because based on what I've been following this show for years, and it seemed like they implied it was going to be a show about Jamie's parents, and like we had no idea Claire's parents were going to get into it and were going to be in it until after a while. And now all of a sudden it's like Claire's parents are the ones with the better romance, they're the ones with the stronger stories, the stronger character arcs, the consistent character behaviors, and they've taken a step in the forefront. And it's like now Jamie's parents are coming off as the side couple that they're not paying more attention, enough screen time to really take the time to develop their relationship like they need to be. And that's the sad part, because again, I was expecting Jamie's parents to be the main part of the story, and if they did include Claire's parents, it would be more of a side couple or a equal couple. But it's like, I don't know, is anybody else feeling this? Like, are you guys seeing what I'm saying? Like, let me know in the comments below what you think. But overall, I loved this episode. It was like a 5-star episode for me. It was really good. The nudity was not necessary, as always. It never is. So skipped over that. Stars makes it really easy, because you click the fast forward button and it jumps over it, and so it's like, I like that it's skippable. But overall, I like it. I'm really wishing that they do Jamie's parents justice and actually have them develop some sort of relationship, because honestly, like Brian and Claire's mom Julia seem closer than Brian and Ellen. Like Julia knows more about him than Ellen does, and that's so sad. And like Julia, like, you know, and he knows more about Julia than he does Ellen. It's like really weird. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and if you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And in the meantime, if you like my review of this episode, stay tuned for the next one. When it comes out next week, I'll be watching it and I'll let you guys know my thoughts on it, so check it out, it'll be here.